everyone, welcome to the InforVest podcast. My name is Daniel, and we'll just quickly go over the markets and the developments over the overnight session and the news that happened over the weekend. So, as some of you may know, there was kind of a sell-off that happened in equities. There was an equity sell-off in all the indices, such as the Dow, NASDAQ, Russell, and even the S&P 500. So how we first started was that we had good news on the U.S. stimulus being basically approved, and the $900 billion expected to come out and provide relief to Americans. And Jake Sherman did come out and did post on his Twitter feed about the Democrats' kind of provisions and the bill and the written bill from Pelosi. So I can go over it quickly here. So firstly, we have community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions. So that's basically the agreement includes dedicated PPP set-asides for very small businesses and lending through community-based lenders like community development financial institutions and minority depository institutions. There's also $3 billion in emergency support for CDFIs through the CDFI fund to respond to the economic impact of pandemic on underserved, low-income, and minority communities. Then the next one is the rental assistance. Democrats secured $25 billion in critically needed rental assistance for families struggling to stay in their homes and extension of the eviction. Then we had strengthens another provision that the Democrats got was the strengthen the low-income housing tax credit. So the package enhanced the LIHTC to help increase affordable housing construction and provide greater certainty to new and ongoing affordable housing projects. The next is a big one, the direct payment checks. Democrats secured a new round of direct payments worth up to $600 per adult and child, also ensuring that mixed status families receive payments. So that's that stimulus check that was given previously when the stimulus bill initially came, and now this is the second round of $600 per adult and child given to Americans. We also see strengthened earned income tax credit and child tax credit to be added. Supporters paid sick leave to be added. The agreement provides tax credit to support employers offering paid sick leave based on the Families First framework. Then you had employee retention tax credit, and enhanced employment insurance benefits was also added. So Democrats averted the sudden expiration of unemployment insurance benefits for millions and added a $300 per week for unemployment insurance enhancement for Americans out of work. So that's additional money for the unemployment insurance benefits. We also see that nutrition assistance for hungry families. Democrats secured $13 billion to increase SNAP and child nutrition benefits to help relieve the historic hunger crisis that has left up to 17 million children food insecure. You also see education and child care. The agreement provides $82 billion in funding for colleges and schools, including support for HVAC repair and replacement to mitigate virus transmission and reopen classrooms, and $10 billion for child care assistance to help parents get back to work and keep child care providers open. Another big one is regarding to oil. This was added also in the bill. Basically the fight for the climate crisis. The agreement includes sweeping clean energy reforms, R&D enhancements, efficiency incentives, and extends clean energy tax credit to create hundreds of thousands of jobs for clean economy. The package also phases out superpollutant HFCs poisoning the U.S. to lead the world in avoiding up to zero point 0.5 degrees Celsius of global warming. So this is another big one for clean energy, which is what the Democrats are pro on. So that was also added. So that basically sums up the majority of what's in the bill. And so this stimulus package did come out, and we did see this on Sunday around 5 p.m. And we did have the futures market open. We did have the futures market open on Sunday, which resulted in a gap up and prices being spiked up. But it was short-lived. The rally was short-lived, and we did see Russell 2000 reach to the 1992 mark, very close to the 2000 mark, but it was unable to reach there. If we do look at Friday's session, we did see a sell-off during the North American session, then followed by around close to the end of the day, around 4 p.m., a huge rally back to P1. That was on the back of, first thing we had quad witching, which brought in that volatility and that sell-off. Then we had the news that McConnell said that we will work and get something done for sure over the weekend, which sparred kind of optimism in equities and sparred kind of this, the Russell and the S&P and NASDAQ and the Dow to rally in the late evening session. And then we had Sunday, kind of the news come out on the stimulus bill, and we did have the spike up in equities, which was short-lived as profit-taking did come in from everyone who was long Friday evening. And then once that profit taking occurred, and it went back to the original price, the lows of Friday's session, as it was a combination of again, profit-taking and also negative news about this new variant, this new mutation, this new virus that is being right now seen in UK, and even one case in Italy where they said that it had detected a coronavirus case with the new UK strain. So that has been right now the rhetoric, right now the news of this new UK virus strain, which caused equities, all the indices. We're talking about the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the S&P, all to sell off quite aggressively overnight, especially when the European session opened around 3 a.m. Eastern time. We did see a massive sell-off, and we did see kind of the equity break certain trend lines, especially Russell, where it did maintain this consistent, strong rally and consistent, strong kind of trend line, bullish trend line, where we do see it breaking, where it did break actually. And now, as we're getting into the North American session, we're kind of stalled here in the Russell and in the S&P as well. As I look right now, we are around an S&P 3640. For the NASDAQ around 12,670, and the Russell 1908, and the Dow around 29,300, around there. So we are kind of in this sideways trading. We'll have to see what happens during the North American session. We did also see the pound sell off quite a bit, especially on this UK news of this lockdown and more restrictions, especially during Christmas time, and borders around Europe closing and closing its flights and whatnot to UK, and more kind of stringent rules being placed due to this new strain in the UK. So we did see the pound sell off all the way to 1.32 handle, and we did see the dollar rise. We did see also gold rally, and then later on kind of sell off during the overnight session. And also we did see for sure oil kind of gap down, hasn't still filled that gap. We fell to a low of 46.24. We are retracing back up as we speak, but we still haven't filled that gap in oil, as this kind of new development of this virus kind of puts a shock in many of the asset classes. We do see also bonds higher. We see yields have dropped to quite the lows, and the bond prices are up. As I look on the 30-year and 10-year, we see a kind of a mini small on the 15-minute chart head and shoulders formation. If we do get positive news in the North American session, or we do hear anything about, let's say, Pfizer or any of these vaccine companies coming out saying this new mutation or this new virus is not to be worried about, as the vaccine can very well fight off this new mutation, new virus, we could see equities go back and recoup all of its losses that happened overnight, and we can see bond prices fall off as well and yields increase. So we'll have to kind of watch out and see if any developments on the vaccine side. I mean, vaccines still continue to come out. We still continue to see, this vaccine being pushed out, and we do continue to see that people are getting vaccinated. So that's good news. But we'll have to for sure monitor, as I mentioned in the previous podcast, this new variant, this new mutation. When you start hearing more of this rhetoric and more of this news coming out from the market, you will see a knee-jerk reaction. And we did see that overnight. So in order to get things back, all eyes on, this new mutation. Will the current vaccine, will it need to be halted? Will it need to will the new, will these pharma companies need to have to basically create a new vaccine for this mutation, or can the current vaccine deal with it? So that's something to keep in mind of. As I look on my desk right now, we see Russia. Just recently, some news came out. Russia is said to favor 500,000 barrels per day output hike in February. So that's kind of expected, as they mentioned that before. Now remember, with OPEC Plus, they did mention that they will react faster. They'll be more hands-on with oil, especially with as this new case is developed and things move on. So that's something to keep an eye on. And they will be having month-to-month meetings, which is another thing to keep an eye on, as this virus is progressing. Based on the developments, we could see kind of what to expect with what OPEC Plus will do in terms of their supply. So that's to keep an eye on. Other than that, it is kind of the week of Christmas, where this Friday we'll have Christmas, and then next week will be the last week of December. It's expected to be quiet, choppy, low liquidity. So most of the time traders are out and not trading during this time. So something to keep an eye out if you're trading. And other than that, in terms of economic data, we just have kind of the 3-month bill auction, 8-month bill auction, 20-year bond auction that's coming around 11:30. Other than that, it's pretty quiet today for the U.S. front. And yeah, so I think the biggest thing is to monitor this kind of developments of this vaccine, developments of this new mutation, and if positive news does come in about this mutation and the results, we could see kind of relief rally in equities. So as of right now, we'll just have to watch how things go. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you'll join in on the next podcast. Thanks. Bye.